Hi everyone, in today's video I have updates for you regarding visa interviews that are being waived. I have an update for you regarding the lawsuit that was filed against the Trump administration to stop enforcement of the immigration executive orders. And I also have an update for you regarding EAD cards and new rules regarding employment authorization documents. So make sure to stick around for this video. Hi everybody, so as I mentioned, in this video I have three major immigration updates to share with you. I have an update regarding certain visa interviews that are actually being waived. I have an update for you regarding the lawsuit that was filed against the Trump administration to stop enforcement of those immigration executive orders that are suspending certain types of immigration. And I also have an update to share with you regarding EAD cards and new rules regarding employment authorization documents. If this is your first time here, make sure to subscribe to our channel to stay in the loop with all the videos that we're posting. Also, go ahead and hit that like button so that YouTube knows to share this video with more people. Now let's get started. Let's start off by talking about some of these visa interviews that are eligible for a waiver. Well, as you know, since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, we've been seeing major changes to immigration. One of the latest developments is that the Department of State has actually released an announcement extending the types of visa interviews that are eligible for waivers. Check this out. Okay, so everybody check out my screen here where it says expansion of interview waiver eligibility. As you can see, this was just posted on August 25th, just a few days ago. And it says, Secretary Pompeo, in consultation with the Department of Homeland Security, has temporarily expanded the ability of consular officers to waive the in-person interview requirement for individuals applying for a non-immigrant visa in the same classification. Previously, only those applicants whose non-immigrant visa expired within 12 months were eligible for an interview waiver. The Secretary has temporarily extended the expiration period to 24 months. This policy is effective until December 31st, 2020. I know I went through that pretty quickly, so now let's take a moment to explain what this means. Basically, the Department of State is waiving the requirement for certain people to attend visa interviews so that they can get their visa approved without attending an interview. Now, this is only available for certain non-immigrant visas, and these visa waivers are only available for people that have held this visa within the last 24 months. So essentially, these visa waivers are for people that are applying for a renewal of a visa that they've previously held. Now, a couple of important points that I want to mention about this new policy. One is that the Department of State is doing this to reduce the transmission of COVID-19. And two, the other important point that I want to mention is that this is likely not going to be available for the K-1 fiancé visa. The K-1 fiancé visa has been the topic of much discussion, especially since this 90-Day Fiancé show. But even though the K-1 fiancé is a non-immigrant visa, it's likely not going to be eligible for these visa waivers. Because as we discussed, these visa waivers are for people that are renewing a visa that they've previously held. Okay, everybody, so now I want to talk about the second major update that I want to share with you regarding immigration. And this update has to do with employment authorization documents, or EAD cards. Well, as I previously talked about, due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the USCIS budget crisis, USCIS has been taking very long to print actual EAD cards. Now, the way the EAD process works is that you first apply for an employment authorization document. USCIS then reviews your application and will issue you an approval notice. After the approval notice is issued, they will then print the actual EAD card. Now, over the last few months, we've been seeing major delays with people actually getting their physical EAD card after their application for employment authorization has been approved and they've received their approval notice. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, historically, someone is authorized to work once they have their physical EAD card. Historically, the approval notice was not sufficient to determine employment authorization until now. In response to these delays for producing EAD cards, USCIS has now officially updated their policies so that employees may now use their EAD approval notice as proof of their employment authorization. Check out this notice. So over here it says, due to the extraordinary and unprecedented COVID-19 public health emergency, the production of certain employment authorization documents, Form I-66 EAD, is delayed. As a result, employees may use Form I-797 Notice of Action, this is the approval notice, with a notice date on or after December 1st, 2019 through and including August 20th, 2020, informing an applicant of approval of an application for employment authorization, Form I-765, as a Form I-9 employment eligibility verification. So let me explain what this means. Basically, if you had your Form I-765 EAD application approved and the approval notice is dated between December 1st, 2019 through August 20th, 2020, then you can actually use your approval notice as proof of your employment eligibility, your employment authorization. You do not need to wait for the actual EAD card to come in the mail. Now, this is big news because many people have been waiting and waiting for their EAD cards to be produced, and it's been taking a really long time. So the fact that you can now use your approval notice as evidence of your employment eligibility, this is a major benefit for many people. Now, another update that I want to share with you regarding the EAD is that USCIS has updated the Form I-765 as of August 25th, 2020. So if you're planning on applying for employment authorization by filing the Form I-765, make sure that you file using the updated form. If you file your application using an outdated form, USCIS will reject the application. And the worst part is that due to the USCIS delays, the rejection can take weeks and weeks and weeks to come. So meanwhile, you will have filed your application thinking that everything was done properly, just to find out that it's been rejected. So again, make sure that you file using the new updated EAD form. Okay, this brings me to my last update that I want to share with you today, and it's regarding a lawsuit that was filed against the Trump administration to stop enforcement of the executive orders that were filed back in April and June. As many of you know, President Trump signed 2 executive orders back in April and June, which limit immigration. In April, President Trump signed an executive order suspending the issuance of certain immigrant visas. In June, President Trump signed another executive order that suspends the issuance of certain non-immigrant visas. Well, when those executive orders were signed, a lawsuit was filed to stop enforcement of those executive orders. On August 27th, just a few days ago, there was a hearing where the plaintiffs requested a preliminary injunction and a temporary restraining order against enforcement of these executive orders. Basically, what this means is that the plaintiffs filed a motion to temporarily stop enforcement of these executive orders. Well, the judge has not yet ruled on these motions. We're expecting an update any day now. Hopefully an update will come at some point this week, and at that time we'll provide you with additional details. Okay, so in this video we talked about 3 major updates. One is that certain people are eligible to have their visa interview waived. Again, in order to qualify for this, certain conditions have to be met. The visa that they're applying for must be a non-immigrant visa, and they must have previously held that visa in the past. The next update that we discussed is regarding EAD cards. Again, due to the COVID-19 pandemic and due to the USCIS budget emergency, EAD cards have been taking a very long time to print, and so USCIS has changed policies that now allow people to use their EAD approval notice as evidence of their employment authorization. Again, this is very beneficial to many people that are waiting for their EAD cards to come in the mail. And also, USCIS has recently changed the Form I-765 application for employment authorization. So again, if you're planning on applying for employment authorization, make sure that you're using the updated forms. And lastly, we talked about the lawsuit that was filed against the Trump administration to stop enforcement of the executive orders that were filed back in April and June. The judge has not yet ruled on the motion for a preliminary injunction, and we're hopeful that we will hear more at some point this week. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Again, if you know anybody that could benefit from this information, feel free to share this video with them. Please make sure to hit that like button. It really helps us out, and it helps let YouTube know to share this video with more people. If you haven't yet done so, make sure to subscribe to our channel. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video.